What if I told you everything you believe is real isn't? That your entire world, your friends, your values, your truths, might be nothing more than shadows on a wall. You've been living in a lie, and Plato figured it out over 2,000 years ago. Today we will talk about You're Living in a Lie, Plato's Cave explained in 5 minutes. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The cave's dark beginning. Imprisonment in the illusion. Plato's Allegory of the Cave, found in Book VII of his masterpiece, The Republic, is one of the most enduring and pivotal metaphors in Western philosophy. It begins by asking us to imagine a group of people who have lived caves since birth. They are chained by their necks and legs so that they can only see the wall directly in front of them. They cannot turn their heads to see each other, themselves, or the interior of the cave behind them. This initial scene sets up a powerful image of human beings confined by their perceptual limitations and a lifetime of conditioned ignorance. The chains symbolize anything that restricts our ability to seek truth, from societal norms and unexamined beliefs to the sheer limitations of our 5 senses. Shadows as reality. The prisoner's world. The only reality the prisoners know is projected onto the wall before them. Behind them, a fire burns brightly, and between the fire and the prisoners is a raised walkway with a low wall. People walk along this walkway, carrying various objects, statues of animals, people, and other things. Above the low wall, the fire's light casts the shadows of these objects onto the wall the prisoners are facing. The prisoners spend their entire lives watching these flickering images and hearing the echoes of the carrier's voices, which they mistake as coming from the shadows themselves. They would naturally believe that the shadows are the actual, real objects, and their discussions and wisdom would be based solely on identifying and predicting the sequence of these fleeting illusions. The painful ascent, the journey to freedom. Plato then introduces the pivotal moment of liberation. Imagine one prisoner is suddenly unshackled and forced to stand up, turn around, and look towards the fire. This would be an intensely painful and disorienting experience. The bright fire would hurt their eyes, and they would be confused, likely believing the shadows they'd always known were more real than the objects in fire now causing them. When dragged forcibly out of the cave toward the blinding sunlight, the pain is even greater. This agonizing ascent represents the difficult and reluctant process of genuine education and philosophical enlightenment, the struggle to overcome lifelong ignorance and challenge ingrained assumptions. The world outside, grasping true forms. Once outside, the free prisoner is initially blinded by the sun. Their eyes must gradually adjust. First, they can only look at shadows and reflections of real objects in the water, which are easier to bear than direct light. Next, they can look at the physical objects themselves, the trees, flowers, and stars. Finally, and with immense effort, they are able to look at the sun itself. The world outside the cave represents the intelligible realm, where true knowledge resides, a realm accessible only through reason and intellect, not mere sensory perception. The sun, the ultimate source of light and life, represents the form of the good, Plato's highest form, which illuminates all other truths, and is the ultimate object of all knowledge. Philosophical interpretation. The theory of forms. The allegory serves as a compelling illustration for Plato's theory of forms. The shadows in the cave represent the objects of our senses, the transient, imperfect, and changing physical world, doxa or opinion. The actual objects being carried, which cast the shadows, represent the sensible world, which is a step closer to reality, but still imperfect. The things outside the cave, seen in the light of the sun, represent the forms, or ideas, eternal, unchanging, perfect blueprints or essences of all things, justice, beauty, the horse, etc. The form of the good, the sun, is the source of all existence, truth, and intelligibility. The allegory argues that true knowledge, episteme, is not derived from our senses, the shadows, but from the rational apprehension of these perfect forms. The philosopher's duty. Return to the cave. Having attained true knowledge of the forms and the good, the enlightened individual, the philosopher, would feel immense pity for their former companions still trapped in the illusion. They would feel compelled to descend back into the cave to share their discovery and free the others, despite the discomfort and the risk. This return symbolizes the moral and political duty of the philosopher to use their knowledge for the benefit of society, specifically by governing or educating. a central theme in the Republic. However, the return journey is also challenging. The philosopher's eyes, accustomed to the bright sun, would be temporarily blinded by the darkness of the cave. Rejection and danger, the fate of the liberator. Upon returning, the free philosopher would struggle to see the shadows clearly, making them look foolish and incompetent to the chained prisoners, especially in their game of identifying the shadows. When the philosopher attempts to tell the prisoners that their reality is a lie and that a true world of light exists outside, the prisoners would not believe them. Having never experienced anything but shadows, they would conclude that the journey has harmed the philosopher, making them incapable of seeing reality. Plato suggests that if the philosopher tried to forcefully unshackle the others and drive them out, the prisoners would become enraged and might even kill him. A clear historical reference to the fate of Plato's own teacher, Socrates, who was executed for challenging the perceived wisdom of Athenian society. Timeless relevance, beyond ancient Greece. Plato's allegory of the cave remains profoundly relevant, serving as a powerful metaphor for intellectual awakening, political resistance, and the tension between mass opinion and critical truth. It challenges us to question our perceived reality. What shadows are we mistaking for truth in our own lives? Whether from media, cultural conditioning, or unexamined assumptions. The cave is a reminder that the path to knowledge is often painful, met with resistance, and fundamentally transformative. It urges every individual to embark on the arduous journey out of the darkness and into the light of reason to grasp a higher, more stable reality. The lie we are living in is the one perpetuated by unexamined belief and cultural inertia. Plato forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that what we casually accept as real, whether it is the relentless stream of information from media, the superficial values of consumerism, or uncritical societal norms, may be no more than shadows flickering on a wall. The allegory is a permanent invitation to doubt the visible and commit to the painful but liberating journey of genuine intellectual inquiry. It reminds us that the philosopher is not merely an ivory tower thinker, but the free prisoner who, having seen the sun of absolute truth, has a moral obligation to return and try to enlighten a reluctant world, even if it means facing ridicule or death. Ultimately, the cave is a metaphor for education as conversion, a total turning of the soul from the transient shadows of the sensory world toward the permanent, eternal light of truth and goodness. It powerfully asserts that most of humanity is living in a lie, mistaking superficial appearances, the shadows of cultural conditioning, uncritical belief, and sensory input, for the absolute truth. The true reality exists in the light, accessible only through the arduous process of philosophical reason and intellectual conversion. The journey out is painful, marked by temporary blindness and confusion. But it is the only path to grasping the form of the good, the ultimate source of knowledge and existence, symbolized by the sun. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.